Yeah, that's the door. Oops.
All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another episode of the Top of Off Cricket Podcast. I am your host, Kevin Henry, and with me, I got my boy them Walter and Sam, and we talking everything West Indies cricket. Well, another tour, and we seem unprepared. I shouldn't say we are unprepared because it was evident on the first day, or the first morning, I should say, or the first test against India at Ahmedabad. I didn't watch the first session. I slept. I woke up around probably about 3 o'clock this morning, and I picked up my phone, looked at the app. What was the 105 for six? Skipper Roston Chaser just lost his wicket, and I honestly I wasn't surprised. Right? Here's the reason why I wasn't surprised, fellas. Repeatedly, our top order has failed to navigate the first session whenever we bat, right? The first session of whenever we bat, we have failed to navigate that. And that has continued to put us under pressure. I don't know how much of it you guys saw, if anybody stayed up late to watch the first ball or what the case is. But when I looked at the man of the deliveries, the man of the dismissals, I was very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. Walter, look like you got something for your mind,
Hey,
chap.
Kevin, watching West Indies cricket since about 1988, 87, 88. I missed enough sleep from in the 90s. I got to get up at 5 o'clock. I refuse to get up. When around 4:30, my
Alarm.
alarm ring, I went off and I looked, and we were 162 for 9. And I put on the phone and I looked back again and we were 162 all out. Right? I was like, so at least I can catch them ball. I went and I do my little thing, and then I looked and I saw something that upset me. I saw Johann Layne in the team. So I was wondering, I said, did Mr. Phillips get dropped? Injured? That actually really irritated me. And again, and then I looked at the team and I was like, I mean, it's expected that they probably would have gone with Tagenarine Chanderpaul because they actually picked him from the blue. Granted that we think that if you're picking Tagenarine Chanderpaul, it's best you stick with Braithwaite.
I think I said that the other day. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you were going to
you're
pick,
right.
if you were going to
Yeah,
pick
you're right.
Ryan Chanderpaul, you would have
You
been
said,
better off retaining Braithwaite in the
as
team.
you said,
Yeah,
yes, you said that. So all right, cool. So my thing is I had some grosses. I said I would have probably opened Brandon King or Alec Athenes because they basically did the same thing. Because at this particular point in time, Tagenarine Chanderpaul is a walking wicket. Even though I remember I told you guys I probably thought they would have picked him. I don't know why. What I just had that feeling, and I would have played Tevin Imlach, and that actually I would have played Tevin Imlach, right? And Anderson Phillip, right? And so that was my grows because when you look at the first class experience of Anderson as compared to Johann Layne, it's night and day, right? And Anderson's a little quicker too.
hold the thought, water. Sammy, I think you had said you would go Layne ahead of Phillip, if I'm not mistaken. I think you had said you would go with Johann Layne.
Yes, I did.
Try to.
So that is one decision of Sammy's I had no issue with. Like Walter and you, I would have loved to see Imlach in the side, I think it was a foregone conclusion that Imlach would take the gloves in India. So that was a surprise to me. As for Johann Layne, I don't have an issue with that. I
Why
know
though,
there's
Sammy?
all right. So comes back to the point I've made time and time again. It is easier to develop bowlers than to develop batters, right? I understand Johann Layne doesn't have as many first-class games as Anderson Phillip. Anderson Phillip has even played county cricket and all of that. Yes, in fact, he still plays county cricket as far as I understand, right? So I'm not taking that away from him, right? But at this juncture, I had no problem trying something new, right? I could understand why some people are saying that, oh, yes, Phillips is next up. But for me, I have no problem with it. I want to see the youngster there. He's been in the mix-up. You see him on the sidelines, what have you. He's hungry. I don't mind trying something different and putting him out there.
Sammy,
That's my position.
I'm a student in history, you know that.
Yes.
And I think West Indies cricket may have made so many mistakes. One of the first mistakes they made in was when they got rid of Desmond Haynes too early and played Sherwin Campbell.
Right.
And people like Adrian Griffith and them kind of people. You understand? Okay, cool. Granted, we'd like forget them people in the squad right now. But when it comes to the bowling, we had Ambrose and Walsh. Then we had very good bowlers in Kenny Benjamin and Winston Benjamin. And we dropped them. So we lack that continuity of having. Then we drop them and then we bring Ryan King and Marvin Dell. I'm not saying that they weren't talented, but you know that we made a mistake there. So for me, we need to have more of a continuity. And it was quite evident. And I know a lot of people are saying this, and I'm done after this. We actually miss Akimar Roach.
Oh, well, I have no problem. You know my view on Kemar Roach from since the Australia series. But when we look at Anderson Phillip, how many matches has he played for West Indies? So he's not a permanent fixture. If we look at what Greaves did in the Australia series, and Greaves is not a frontline bowler. Greaves pretty much did better than Anderson Phillip. So
but he didn't have much chances though. There's the thing, Sam.
Fine, we can go there, but the point is when you get your chance, you step up. We constantly talk about competition in the Caribbean, So if we want us to start the competition between Anderson Phillip and Johann Layne, let's do it. So again, for me, I had no problems with that decision.
You're picking somebody with 19 matches and 66 wickets versus someone who has first class for the 7 matches, 155 wickets. It's night and day.
I get you. I'm not surprised by the numbers, but like I said to you, I premise my position by saying what? It is easier to develop bowlers than batters. And so I'm willing to take more risk throwing somebody like a Johann Layne into the mix-up world. And we can go back to history. Makaya Ntini. What was Makaya Ntini doing at 10 or 11? Chasing cows, right? What was Shamar Joseph doing at 10 and 11? All right.
I tell you what, I like Walter would have gone with Anderson Phillip, right? Just based on the pure experience of the young man. But once Shamar Joseph went down, I thought Sammy missed the chance to say, hey, Kimar, tag up, fly to India, right? I thought he missed the chance. Once Azari Joseph went down, I thought he missed the chance once again to say, hey, Kimar, fly over, because I don't care what you say. Yes, it is easier to build young fast bowlers, right? Or make young fast bowlers. But this is a tour where I don't think Jediah Blades is ready. Johann Layne was already there, right? But I don't think Jediah Blades is ready. I thought that was a chance missed to bring Kimar on board, right? The seasoned professional. It made me question. We have been ardent supporters of Daren Sammy's appointment, right? On this podcast, we have been ardent supporters of Sammy's appointment. But I'm starting to question his process. I'm really starting to question his process. Because here's a chance that you had to strengthen your batting lineup by including Tevin Imlach, one of the most successful batsmen in West Indies first-class cricket. And even when he played those two test matches against Pakistan, there was great promise there showed. On tough wickets, he stood out, right? Instead, you bring back Alec Athanaze, who you dropped because he was failing. And you didn't want people to embrace someone with a batting average of 24, right? So I'm starting to question the process. Why else am I questioning the process? You pluck Tagenarine Chanderpaul out of obscurity. For all intents and purposes, he hasn't played cricket since early up in the year. Was playing in some backwater league in the United States here, and you decided that was good enough preparation to come up against Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravi Jadeja, Washington Sundar, and Kuldeep Yadav. Now, a few weeks ago, I said if Chanderpaul plays, we are effectively 0 for none or 1 for none.
You said that. You did say
right?
that.
Now, today we didn't end up 1 for none, but Chanderpaul made duck. Didn't trouble the scorers, other than the balls that they had to jot down that he faced. And it's because the young man hasn't been playing any cricket of consequence. How could you think that was going to work? I personally think Sammy is throwing mud at the wall and hoping that it sticks, right? That's what I think he's doing. Because here's it, even though I loved his appointment, because I didn't think there was anyone else in the West Indies more deserving or better equipped to handle the West Indies, all 3 formats at a time. When you do nonsense, we got to call you out. And I think this is nonsense. That's how that's what I'll say about that. I don't know, if you guys got anything to add to, because I was utterly disappointed this morning when I woke up and I looked at the team and I looked at the score, and the fact that I saw Justin Graves bowling before, I think, what was that, the 10th over or whatever the case it might be. What are we really doing? You asked Jaden Seals and what's his name, Johann Layne, to open the bowling. Let them open the bowling. Give them, let them open the bowling. Why am I seeing what's his name again? Left arm spinner. Vice captain. Warrican. Bowling around the 15th over or whatever the case it might be.
I have one more quick thing to add. It shows, and we spoke about this earlier, before in previous podcasts. It shows clearly that we have to prepare. We cannot just go and play test cricket. And it was shown. It's clearly shown we need to have, but I don't know scheduling. I don't know how it works. I don't know. It's just like all other teams seem to have preparation, but we don't.
That is my problem. Everybody else are showing up to test series prepared, right? India, for all intents and purposes, just recently finished a test series against England. Their batsmen came back and they had their local first class beginning of the season tournaments going on, right? There's zonal cricket and all these kinds of stuff going on. And these players are playing. The only preparation our players have had is CPL. That's the only preparation we have had. So how do you expect to go into a test series and then for Sammy to say, oh, well, New Zealand came here and did this, and we think we can do it. No, he didn't say it in those words, but that's what he was hinting at. And when I saw it, I was like, really? You're going to compare yourself to New Zealand? A well-drilled, well-prepared team? Men who are very, very professional at how they approach their game? Then I heard Roston Chase utter the same words. Well, we're taking inspiration from New Zealand. Come on now. Be a little bit realistic. But he did say everyone is expecting us to lose.
Yeah, if I may interject, I don't think in all seriousness, any of our players think that the West Indies team could perform like New Zealand. So I won't be so hard on them. What I think it is that they can go out there and perform beyond what the expectations are. Because the expectations, I would say, is that India 2 for 1 us. India bats once and we bat twice. Right? That's the expectation. So when I think they bring in the New Zealand performance last year, it is to say that, look, this Indian team is a team that we can actually perform above expectations. Perhaps push a match to 4 days or something like that. You see, I think that's where they're coming from.
Chase said something, right? He said, everyone expects us to lose. We have, it allows us to play free cricket, right? It frees us up to play our game. But when we showed up this morning, I didn't see that desire to. What it looked like was a bunch of players who are afraid to lose their wickets. That's what we looked like, right?
I have to agree with you. I'll tell you something. So my plan was to watch the first session and then go to bed because it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, your time.
Here, right? I didn't make it to 1 o'clock. I felt, it's too tired and I just
yeah.
But I agree with you. I do think our players mentally, right? We were under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Chanderpaul's shot, for example, that to me was evidence of a player anxious to get off the mark.
Didn't have to play a shot. Didn't have to play.
Didn't have to. You know the ball is going down leg, but you're anxious to get off the mark and you try to, I don't know, tuck it on the onside. And, well, we all saw what happened. And the wicketkeeper was brilliant, boy.
The keeper did amazing work back there. That wicketkeeper did a bit. Yeah. I'll tell you what. Yeah. When you are out of form, right?
Yeah.
You find creative ways of getting out. That is what happened with Tagenarine Chanderpaul this morning. That is what happened with Alec Athene. As a matter of fact, how Alec Athene got out is kind of,
the basics out the window.
That's how a lot of people have been getting him out, right? Him and John Campbell.
Yeah.
Obviously, India paid attention to how Brandon King got out against Australia recently, right? They studied it and use your bat. Unless it's wide outside off, use your bat.
Yeah.
Right? Cover the line, use your bat. He's not covering the line.
Were there a couple of times, I forgot to check, that Brandon King was caught behind? Like, I can't recall because I'm wondering.
Against
the Australia series.
I think he was caught behind twice, or behind the wicket twice. Not by the keeper necessarily.
But let's behind the stumps. Fine. The reason why I bring that up, I'm wondering if part of it is a fear of nicking, and so you leave alone. Again, not making an excuse for him or what have you.
Yeah.
But what I liked about let me tell you something. When he came in, you see the positive intent,
Yeah.
right? It's like, yeah, man. And I tell y'all, I was just happy when we passed 27. No, seriously. When Brandon King played at 4,
Yeah.
right, and we whoop past the 27, I said, "Thank you, Jesus." Now I could relax. It's just like you're batting. When you're batting,
This
you
called
take
PTSD.
picture.
Yes.
Sorry?
PTSD.
That's called
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah.
When you look at the middle order, Roston Chase got what, 24, Shea Hope got 26.
That starts.
Yeah, Justin Graves started too. And when you look at their career first class or test averages, it's right around there. You understand me? So if our batsmen are to make bigger scores, it means they have to play out of their skins right now. Right? If for somebody to score 80, 100, they got to play out their skin. Because when you consistently making scores of 20-something and getting out, once you get to that point, it's like the mind doesn't quite know how to push on, right? And I think that is their struggle right now. Once Justin Graves got to 32, I was like, he ain't got much longer here. And boom, there you go. You got yacked, right? Anyways, fellas, it's coming down to time for us to wrap it up. Jen Seals started well, picked up a big wicket at that, Jaiswal, because had he stayed there any longer, it was going to be a very, very long evening for the West Indies. Chase came and got Sai Sudarson's wicket, so Shubman Gill and KL Rahul is still there, 2 danger men. How y'all see it going, or what you would like to see first things up in the morning?
3 quick wickets.
Yeah, of course. Johann Layne taking some wickets.
Hey, I would be very
Anybody
happy.
take a wicket.
Listen, if Johann Layne can go out there and hit his straps and swing the ball like I know he can swing the ball, right? And put the ball in testing areas and create some chances, I will be a very happy man because I like the young man. I just don't think he's ready, but I like the young man, right? I think there's lots of talent there. I've seen him move that ball before, actually banana the ball, right? I've seen him do some things with the ball. So what better stage to do it on?
I hope he's already woken up and probably at the ground doing some work. I don't know, or attempting there because he needs to. I don't know, but let's see. Anyways,
second day promises to be a long one for the West Indies. As Sammy, as you said, Walter, 3 wickets, 3 quick wickets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would like to see Jane Seals would come out there and just hit his straps right away. And, a wicket or 2 put the Indians under pressure, see how they respond. Because this is a team that's, for all intents and purposes, they're going through a phase. There's lots of changes, right? Lots of people have retired. So they're just like us, but they're just in a better position in terms of
reserve
their players, right?
Mm.
So, Sam, 11 o'clock your time, Walter, midnight our time. I think I'm going to tune in tonight for a couple of balls, get some rest, and then check it out later. Good having you guys on board. See you tomorrow.
Respect.